Joining us now from New York, a man who finds himself in the middle of all of this. He is a former healthcare executive. Scott, chairman of the group Conservative for Patients' Rights. Good afternoon, Mr. Scott.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Listen, I want you to listen to...
Today on Fraud Files, a money trail that leads from taxpayers' wallets straight to the pockets of one mysterious man. Today, we open the fraud file of Rick Scott. Multimillionaire Rick Scott's massive hospital chain was built on cutting corners and outright fraud.
Is Columbia HCA putting profits ahead of patients?
Did Columbia treat a patient for a mild disease, then bill Medicare for something more expensive?
3 executives of Columbia HCA Healthcare Corp have been indicted.
They were specifically training their executives to basically steal from the government.
A whistleblower revealed Scott's company was cooking the books. Refusing to cooperate, Rick Scott gave a deposition in which he invoked the Fifth Amendment 75 times.
Which means a truthful answer to the questions that he was asked would incriminate him.
The Medicare fraud that cost his former company, Columbia HCA, $1.7 billion in fines.
The fine was the largest in the history of the United States. Rick Scott resigned in disgrace with a $300 million golden parachute. Then Scott turned around and used the ill-gotten gains to start another healthcare company, Solantic. In 2008, new allegations emerged that Solantic was also engaging in multiple forms of fraud.
A doctor who worked at Solantic says he was pushed to inflate patients' costs.
Another fraud, another deposition. This one just 6 days before Rick Scott announced for governor. Scott has the videotape of the deposition, but he refuses to release it.
I told you, I'm not releasing. It's a private matter.
But you're running for governor, though.
I'm running for governor.
And you're running on your business record in this.
I told you right now, I'm not releasing. What else?
Rick Scott continues to run for governor and run away from the truth. The only thing that stands between him and the governor's office is the people of Florida.
Release the deposition.
Will Scott ever come clean and release the tapes? Or will he get away with the greatest fraud of all? At Fraud Files, we'll be watching.
Joining us now from New York, a man who finds himself in the middle of all of this. He is a former healthcare executive. Scott, chairman of the group Conservative for Patients'